Dude! Welcome, Golf Dude in the Basement. Before we start on the official journey, I thought I'd fill you in on what I've been doing for the last eternity. My golfing life started about 46 years ago. It started on a golf course, a public golf course in Philadelphia. The name of that course was Juniata. Juniata was a par 63. Memory serves me correct, it was 9 par 4s and 9 par 3s. I've been trying to remember for the last few days exactly what the greens fees were at Juniata. And I think it might have been 75 cents on weekdays and $1.25 on weekends, or maybe $1.50, I don't know. But it was reasonable. It was so reasonable we never had that much money anyway, so we had to sneak on all the time. But that's another episode. The reason I bring up Juniata is because I just want to give you a sense of where I come from in the golf kingdom, so to speak. It wasn't exactly a silver spoon. It was middle summer, had to be 110 degrees in the shade. And back in those days, the summers in Philadelphia were oppressively hot. I know we got this global warming gig going on right now, but it seems to me back then it was really hot. That's another episode too. My buddy and I, we were bored. You know, baseball season had ended. Football season hadn't begun yet. And it was too hot on the asphalt to play basketball all day long. So we were looking for something to do, trying not to get into trouble. So we decided to play some golf. The golf course was about 4 miles from where we lived. We walked there. You couldn't get a ride in those days. I mean, the parents are working. How are you going to get 5 miles away? I don't know how kids do it today. Excuse me, different story, another episode. So we walked to the course. We had 2 borrowed sets of golf clubs, and we did pay this time, the original time. Yeah, we didn't start stealing from them until we learned the lay of the land. We paid our 75 cents or whatever, and we waited in line for about an hour. Several things I remember about that round. I had a hard time teeing the ball into the ground. There wasn't any grass. It was just baked dirt. So I finally found a spot to tee the ball into the ground, and I teed it up as high as I possibly could. Now, I got to tell you, I don't remember ever hitting a golf ball prior to that day. Maybe I did, I don't know. You know, driving ranges weren't in vogue back then, so I don't know what was going on. I know I had watched golf on TV with my dad all the time, and I know it was another sport, and I know it involved one of these things. It involved the ball. And my whole life up until that point revolved around playing with a ball, okay? Playing with a ball. If there was a ball, I could play it. And if there wasn't a ball, I'd make a ball. Or I'd make something that would symbolize a ball, and I'd play that game right then. But back in those days, you had to find something to keep you busy. And my thing was a golf ball or a ball. Something that was round and something that I could control. Whew, here's a Zen moment for you. Well, anyway, I finally got the ball teed up. There's about a half dozen people, maybe old-timers watching us. Got the ball teed up. It's teed up about that high. Forget what kind of ball it was. It was whatever was in the bag. Plopped it down on a tee. And wait a minute. The first hole, Juniata, I would describe that. Downhill. 142 yards, par 3, okay? And again, middle of the summer, ground is like a rock. Tee that ball up, and I've got the Wilson Staff Strata Block 3-wood. I hope I got that right because I don't think I'll ever forget it. And I teed that ball up, and again, never having hit a golf ball in my life, but I played baseball, I played stickball, I played wall ball, I played step ball, I played half ball, I played hose ball. I played a lot of ball. And that ball is just sitting there. I don't know if I ever played a game of ball when that ball just sat there and didn't move around. This has got to be easy. Anyway, Wilson Staff 3-wood, Strata Block, stood up there and hit the most pretty little draw right at the green. That ball carried maybe about 130 some yards, sort of landed at the level spot at the bottom of the hill, scooted up to the green, and stopped right in the frog hair. Now you know I'm telling you the truth, because if I was bullshitting, I would have that ball go up to around 3 feet of the pin, and that'd really be a great story. Not going to bullshit you on this website, dude. Not going to bullshit you. You want bullshit, go get a magazine, okay? Do something like that. Turn the TV on. You're not going to get it here. All right, I'm past that. The ball was in the frog hair. That's right, I said frog hair. Back then it was the frog hair. Then it became the apron. Then it became the fringe. And I believe society started to go downhill as soon as we got rid of the term frog hair. I mean, frog hair, that's a great term. Right up there with divot, or actuarial, or derivative. Okay, all right, I'm back to it. Well, anyway, I hit my first golf shot, and it was a great golf shot. It was a tight little draw. And that, I'll never forget it. It's as simple as that. And from that moment, from that very moment, I was hooked. I love golf. And I played golf every chance I could get. We'll talk about those stories a little bit later. That was about, like I said, or I hope I said, 45 years ago. And I played golf, and I got a little bit good at it, and I thought I was even better than that, and it progressed and progressed and progressed, and that's how my journey started. Well, about 10 years ago, my journey kicked into fifth gear. And that's when I met a very special man. Now, my golfing life has been affected by some very special people. There's not a lot of them, just a handful. But 10 years ago, I met A.J. Bonar. That's right, A.J. Bonar. Now, you may have already heard of A.J. A.J. has an infomercial that runs on the Golf Channel, and he has a very successful DVD set. And obviously, on the DVD set, A.J. tells you his theories about not the golf swing, not how to play golf. He tells you his theories about how to figure out how to hit this golf ball. Now, A.J. is not a golf instructor, and he's definitely not a golf teacher. He likes to refer to himself as a golf educator. We'll get to that a little bit later on, too. Well, anyway, the year is 1997, 98, I don't know, something like that. And I was fortunate enough to get a sales position with Zevo Golf. Now, Zevo Golf was an up-and-coming golf manufacturer who was into the custom fitting aspect of golf clubs. And they were trying to take what Henry Griffiths had done to the next level. And in fact, they did indeed get to the next level, and maybe even a level after that. I got this job as a sales rep for Zevo Golf, and the first thing they did was they had to send out their guy in charge of educating their salespeople on how to sell this product. Now, this product is really sexy, okay? We're talking custom fitting for golf clubs. We're also talking about, they just came out with this fitting system for drivers. And this system was carried in a briefcase, and this briefcase, looked like you're carrying a machine gun or something like that. But inside the briefcase were about like 8 heads and a half dozen shafts, and they had this really, really incredible hosel thing where you could change the lie angle and change the face angle and all sorts of weird stuff like that. And in this briefcase, I think I did the permutations one time, and yeah, that goes back to St. Joe's Prep, permutations. It was like 1,100 and some different drivers I could build out of this briefcase. Now I'm telling you, if you had $500 in your pocket, I could sell you one of those drivers. And it's not because I'm a good salesman. I am not a salesman. But that briefcase, and if you knew how to use that briefcase, you'd get that $500 out of that pocket because it was a very good product. Well, anyway, AJ comes to town, and I pick him up. And the whole deal is, me and AJ, we're going to go out to some golf courses. We're going to see some club pros. We're going to see some of their customers, some of their students. And we're going to show them how this new driver fitting system is going to help them make money and also help their clients play better golf. Because I don't care. You get that saying, drive for show and putt for dough. Well, that's bullshit, okay? That's bullshit. The biggest and the most important shot in all of golf is without a doubt the drive, okay? So I'm not even going to debate you on that. I just know that for a fact. If you're driving the ball well, you can learn everything else, but you got to learn how to drive that ball well. And if you can drive that ball well, you can play golf. You can put yourself in position to hit short irons into the greens, to score, to do all the other great stuff about golf. But you got to be able to hit that drive. You got to be able to stand up there, whether it's a long par 4, a short par 4, a par 5, and you got to know where you're going to put that ball, and you want to know how you're going to get it there. You got to be Ben Hogan right then. Okay, I digress. Getting back to AJ. Okay, so we're in the car, and he's a nice enough guy. I remember not wanting to engage him in conversation, quite frankly, because I knew everything there was to know about golf. And I was kind of tired of talking about it to people who really didn't have as much knowledge as I had. Now, if that sounds conceited, if that sounds arrogant, you're absolutely right, because it is and it was. AJ and I, we get to the first few places, the first few stops, and I start watching this guy do his shtick. And what he talks to everybody about is hitting the golf ball. He doesn't talk about grip. I can't believe it. He didn't mention grip. He never mentions stance or setup. Lord knows he doesn't talk about the backswing. And he certainly is not talking about how far you're supposed to stick out your butt. He doesn't do any of that stuff. He's talking to these guys about hitting the golf ball. Hitting the golf ball. And he goes from one guy to the next. He goes from the 40 handicapper to the 30 handicapper to the scratch golfer to everybody else. And he's fitting them with these drivers, and everybody he's fit starts hitting the ball better. And it's not that they start hitting the ball better because of the driver. The driver was really cool, and they finally got a club that fit them. But they were moving different. And I didn't understand that. And I was watching. Then all of a sudden he started working with the club pro at this one particular place we were at. And he fitted the pro for a driver. And I don't know if the pro was ever a really good player, but he's hitting balls on the tee, and he's not impressing me. For a while there, we grow up and you go to club pros, and you finally get to a country club, and you go here and you go there, and you assume that all club pros can just kill it. And then you find out that they can't. And then you have some club pros that you can beat. And then, well, whatever. Some club pros can really play, some are mediocre, some like to sell stuff. Well, anyway, this club pro was right in the middle, okay? And AJ started working with him, and this club pro started killing the ball, And it wasn't, the driver was part of it, but a lot of it was what AJ was showing him what to do with the club head. And again, we're not talking about swing. AJ was just talking how to use the club head to make that ball go where you want it to go and how you want it to get there. One of the things he would do is he would take this Sharpie and he would draw an outline of a club face on your right palm. And he did this with everybody. Here's this guy, I mean, it's incredible. He gets his Sharpie out and he starts painting on your hand. What the hell's that all about? It was incredible. It was incredible. Well, he draws the club face on your hand, and he says, okay, see your hand? That's the club face. Just go like that. That's right. Club face, hand, right hand, boom, just go like that. These people would get up there, and club face, hand, just go like that. All the guys who were slicers, which is like 80% of them, they stopped slicing. They stopped slicing. And the head pro to his club, he started hitting it pure. He started hitting Mrs. Filbert's. He was hitting butter. But all the slicers, and you know you're out there, they all stopped slicing. Well, that really got my attention. Later on that day, we're driving up the New Jersey Turnpike. And I guess I made the decision to engage this guy, Mr. A.J. Bonar, in a conversation. And my first question to him went something like this. I said, hey, dude, what teacher out there do you like following? I mean, whose principles do you use? Do you like Ledbetter? How about Rick Smith? How about Butch Harmon? How about whoever? Which one of those guys you think really has it? Now I'm waiting for this answer. And the reason I'm waiting for this answer is because I have read all those books, I have gone through all those DVDs, and I have mastered each one of those systems. I can't hit the damn ball yet, but I got all the stuff mastered. I graduated. I can't do it, but I graduated. AJ looks at me and says, well, dude, none of them. I'm incredulous. What do you mean none of them? How can you say none of them? Ledbetter's out there making millions of dollars. He's got this great system. You know, he taught Fado. He's got a great book. I love the guy. What do you mean none of them? And AJ just went on to explain where he wasn't taking anything away from all those popular instructors, and certainly he wouldn't say anything negative about them, but they weren't helping the 50 handicapper become a 20 handicapper, or the 50 become a 30, or the 30 become a 20. They were working with pros who were already pretty darn good, and they were tweaking them and getting their notoriety from that position. Now that may be true or not, but that's what he said. And I was thoroughly impressed with that. I was impressed with it because I said, you know what? I think I finally met somebody as conceited and as arrogant as I am. Hey, we've got to have a conversation with this dude. So for like the next 3 hours going up the Jersey Turnpike, we talked about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Well, I forgot to tell you one thing. Earlier on the previous call where he was working with the head pro and all, he looks at me and says, hey, dude, get up here. I'm going to fit you for a driver. Well, see, there's that whole thing again. If he fits me for a driver, I've got to hit a shot in front of him. And if I hit a shot in front of him, he's going to see my swing, and he's going to start picking my swing apart, and I'm in a very vulnerable spot, all right? I just got done trying to play on some mini tours, and I really sucked, and I embarrassed myself. I didn't embarrass myself locally. I had to go down to Florida to embarrass myself. I embarrassed myself all up and down the East Coast. The last thing in the world I needed was more embarrassment, especially embarrassment in front of some guy who was representing my new employer. I wanted these people to think I was good. Well, anyway, he fits me in a driver, and I forget what the specs were. And 5 balls were there, and him and the head pro said, go on, dude, tee it up. Let's see what you got. Oh, let's see what you got. I forget exactly what I was thinking, but I think I was thinking 2 things. Number 1, try to hook the ball, because I didn't want to slice it. And number 2, use the pretty one, okay? Now, that quote goes back a ways, but It always seemed to work for me. Just use the pretty one, you know? The one that's right there. And whoosh, use the pretty one. Well, anyway, I got up there, and I'm thinking, okay, come on, hook the ball, hook the ball, hook the ball. Pretty, 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 pretty. Use the pretty one. And I hit 5 balls. And I think they were okay. I don't remember hearing any oohs or ahs, but, you know, they were all right. And then we went back to business. Okay, flash forward. We're going up Jersey Turnpike. We make another sales call up there, this time at a retail place. And AJ can teach anybody. I mean, that's a parent. I mean, he can teach anybody. And I'm just watching, and I'm listening. Because I think if I've got any talent whatsoever, it's a talent to watch and listen and observe and try to learn from other people. My dad gave that to me. I'm not going to go there. Dad, I love you. Uh-oh. I just went cross-eyed. Okay, so we're driving up the New Jersey Turnpike, and we make another sales call, and now we got to find a place to eat. And we're in some place in Jersey. It's right across the river from New York City, and we find like an International House of Pancakes or Friendly's. It was one of the two. And I keep getting it confused. But they're still open. It's got to be 11 o'clock at night. And we go in there, and we get something to eat. And for the last 3 hours, I've been dying just to ask him, dude, what'd you think of my swing? But see, I'm off the swing thing. I'm not going to even say the word swing, and I don't want to talk swing with anybody. And of course, I've been watching him all day long teach people and not talk about swing. And I know he's conceited and arrogant, and I know he's got a sense of humor, and I'm hoping he's sympathetic to the fact that I am absolutely crazy. So he's sitting across the table. I think he's eating waffles, I'm eating a steak, something like that. And I finally look at him. I said, AJ, what do you think of my swing? Oh, no. Oh, God, I got it wrong. No. I said, AJ, what do you think of my move? I didn't say swing. Cross my heart, hope to die. Stick a 9-iron in my eye. I said, AJ, what do you think of my move? And he didn't hesitate. He said, dude, you got one of the best moves I've ever seen. You just hit the ball too early. Now I'm thinking to myself, hit the ball too early? What in the hell does he mean by that? Well, that's when the journey went into 5th gear. All right? That was, like I said, 10, 11 years ago, 10, 11, 12, who the hell's counting? It was a long time ago, and I've been working on this thing ever since. Yes, that's right. I'm a very, very slow learner. Very slow learner. But it's been a journey, okay? And it's a journey I'm still on, and it's the journey that I'm inviting you to take with me. I mean, and it's kind of a weird journey where you can jump in anywhere you want to jump in at, and you're sort of already up to speed. Because it keeps going back to basics. And the basics are, how do I want to hit that ball? Well, I know I don't want to hit it too early. And I know I want to use the pretty one. Giddy up.